I see what's going on.
Are you nuts?
It's been suggested.
Come on, Caleb.
Lube or lewd?
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
And we are live. You know what, Brandon? Take it away. It's your show, too.
Welcome back, everybody, to Long Time First Time, episode 3, the only show on the internet that talks about old movies and not movies that came out this year. I think that's true.
Only. Don't look up any other. No, only us.
Yeah, rewatchables. Who? Yes, we are the only in the scene. Is this a scene? Is this a? Chris is already here. Love it. The only show on the Pierce Co that you can come on and join us and talk about a movie you saw, non-new release.
It's in the chat.
It's already in the chat. Look at that. We've got this down. Episode 3. We already got it down. My favorite time of the week. I love Thursdays because I love talking to JPO. I love talking about movies that we see. I'm not so happy this week because Jordan has been shaming me for not having any bad movies on my list. So I watched 2 bad movies, and I'm not happy about it.
And will I continue my streak? Yes, I will.
I hope so.
It's safe to find out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, like, when we get to episode 10, to do, like, a star average. And it's like, Brandon's star average is 4.2. Jordan's star average is 2.3.
I also watched some good ones, but yeah, maybe. As Brendan said, the link is in the not the private chat, the actual chat here on the YouTube. You can also DM one of us if you'd like. Come join us here. If there's a new movie you've seen, new to you rather, that is about a year or not longer and older, let us know.
I can just copy and paste this thing up here. Is that works? That's how it works?
That works, yeah. That StreamYard link, that IPE95DV88E5. There you go. You remember that?
Got it. Yeah. If you remember that, enter that into your bar. Should we get started today?
Tato said he might join us later as well. Chris, anyone that should like. Again, if you've seen a
tell a friend, tell an enemy.
All right. Hey, you get it. But Brandon, you could always start off though with something new you stuck to you this week.
Where do I want to start? Do I want to save that one? I know we usually do like in order we watched it, but kind of want to kick off with this one. I'm gonna kick off with this one. So I've teased this one for the last couple weeks. This is actually one of the first movies I ever added to my watch list on Letterboxd, but I've never watched it because I never knew where to find it. And then Jordan was like, just go to YouTube, you idiot. So I found it on YouTube, and we talked about this last week, and he found it for me, and I turned it on, and then I immediately turned it off and watched a movie that I'll talk about later instead that I liked a lot more. But in preparation for this episode, I finally watched it. I finally watched Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. from 1998, starring the one and only David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. And this movie sucks. It is very boring. It is so boring. It's a made-for-TV movie. It feels like a made-for-TV movie. I did some research afterwards. Apparently, it was kind of a soft pilot. So it was a soft pilot. So it's only like 90 minutes or something like that. And apparently it was a soft pilot that they're like, if it does good, we'll make a show about it. And it really just does feel like an hour and a half long episode of a bad TV show. Like the villain gets away, like nothing really happens. It's a lot of talking and a lot of just like setting up kind of the final battle that would happen like the end of an episode of like a procedural action show. Is this just the full movie? Because I didn't know there was a trailer. Just to put the whole movie on. I mean, Hasselhoff is interesting. He's fun to watch. He gives it his all, I would say. I was really hoping that there'd just be like cool Easter eggs and like, oh, I know that character. That's fun. But like nothing really even screams Marvel. Like there's some characters, like income character names, Thrawn Struckers, Viper. There's things that I recognize, but nothing really else like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, this is bad, and I can see why. It cost like $10 million to make or something though, which back in 1998 for an episode of television sounds like a lot. No, they don't need to bring him back as Nick Fury. It's okay. It's just a lot of really outdated like one-liners that don't really hit, and everyone else like tries so hard, but it's just boring and cheesy and just not even fun. I was hoping it was fun. It's not really been that fun. 1.5 stars.
Finally,
I hate
had a
every
bad movie. But no, I'm with hey, your tag team partner. Catch me managing them Monday or not Monday. We're filming it, but then airing later. So I got you guys, forever partners, you and Brian. And hey, we're not alone for sure this week here because popping up in the back here, everybody. Jay Burns, Jay, how you doing?
The namesake of our show.
I mean, it was great until I heard that Brandon was hassling the Hoff. So
he deserves to be hassled for this piece of crap.
No, like 100. The movie came out in 1990, like 1990, 1991. Leave him alone. It's
98.
Oh, I'm thinking of the first Captain America movie. All right, that's fair.
Maybe that one.
That's fair.
That's next.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. If you're going to watch any movie that is relatively around the Marvel, you should watch Three Deva Dom, the Turkish Spider-Man, where Spider-Man is the villain in that movie. It's so much better than people give it credit for, and it is so bad. It's so bad.
You had my attention. Now you have my interest.
That's what I'm saying. Jay? I would like to bring forth. Hey, thanks guys for having me. Second time, long time. I appreciate that I was able to help you guys name this bad boy. I have one that's gonna bring a little bit of controversy because I know the things that I have to say about movies that people don't like. But you know what's a 5-star movie? Paprika. You know it's not a 5-star movie? The Christopher Nolan ripoff of it that's in live action called Inception. It's a 3-star movie at best.
Whoa.
I recently watched it. I recently watched Inception. Like, it was the only Christopher Nolan movie outside of, like, Tenet. And the only reason I couldn't watch Tenet was because of the sound mix on it. It was incredibly hard to get through, and it scratched my brain wrong. So, like, I was like, you know what? I know this is, like, Henry Sanchez's favorite director of all time. He loves the filletum. But I watched Inception for the first time after we got done doing Shenanigans. The movie's cool. The idea is cool, but it was done 8 years before in anime, way better. And that movie was called Paprika. Christopher Nolan has stated several times in different interviews that it's supposed to be an homage to it, but homages don't just directly rip off everything about the movie and then make it live action and then say, oh no, see, it's an homage, because it's not the same, because I didn't call it the same thing. Yeah, Inception, 3 stars. Like, it's not bad. Like, there are a lot of questions. Like, I like it. I don't hate it. 3 out of 5 is not bad. But everybody hypes this movie up, and it is not as great as everybody says that it is. And I will take all of the hate. You can send all of that hate to Brandon Cohen at Brandon Cohen on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Hey, it's what the show is for. I do love it. Eric's showing some love to Paprika as well. I've only heard of that, never seen it, probably never will. No, I love Inception. It's definitely a 4.5, almost 5-star movie for me. I think it's fantastic. Here, Brennan, thoughts on Inception?
I do love Inception. I have not seen Paprika, so maybe that would change my opinion on it. Like, in my opinion, it
should. It should.
So my opinion, Inception is amazing because of the concept, but I wasn't aware of the concept before, so that could definitely alter it. We do have a show where we talk about movies for the first time, so maybe Paprika will pop up in my list. I am also not a Nolan
mine.
dick writer. I have a very tumultuous relationship with him and kind of hate him sometimes. This is
You're not
one
gonna
of
like
my
Tenet any better. I don't
near
think.
top
Christopher Nolan's best movie is The Prestige, and nobody will ever be able to fight me on that. I will fucking literally box you.
I'm gonna start
Inception is not a top 5 Nolan film, Brian. I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
That's not even like a big claim when the dude's made like 8 movies. Like what?
That's true.
He's made 11 films, dog.
Has he? Still okay. That's saying it's.
I don't know,
Then shut up.
but it's you. Shut up. You're the one running the show.
Hey Jay, I can beat you. Wait, you muted yourself. Damn it. It's
Yeah, bitch.
power.
The power is in the hands of the power is no longer in the hands of the bourgeoisie.
To add to the thing, yeah, you give it a 3 out of 5.
He's done
That
12
is Jay
movies.
for Inception.
See, I said he done like 11 movies.
Something like 8. That's still just saying. So that's still not the biggest claim. I'm just saying, like 5 out of 12 is still like it's in the top half.
1, 2,
That is
3.
Jay for Inception. Hey, Chris is here, but I'm gonna talk because I haven't talked yet. I watched Joe recently with good old Nicolas Cage here. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this Nicolas Cage.
Isn't it Killer Joe or is there there's a Joe?
No, it's Joe. You're thinking of Matthew McConaughey, by the way.
Yep.
Not Nicolas Cage. And you know what? I also kind of recommend Killer Joe. If you look for a really weird one here. And this is a unique one as well here. This is a David Gordon Green film here before he started making really shitty comedies and then not that much better horror remakes. He's kind of making more kind of like grittier, townsfolk people here. Nicolas Cage is a guy who at first you think is just going to be this kind of nice, woodsman. He leads a group of, I don't even know what you call it, kind of like construction-like workers here. But you find out even him, there's a little bit more of a darker edge to his character as well, even though he's kind of taken a kin to Ty Sheridan here, whose father's a real piece of shit, but it's his father, And it's just some good, like, family drama. There's other townsfolk that are kind of coming after Nicolas Cage here. And it's just a really unique kind of tale that I actually kind of dug. And in the end gave 3.5 stars to. So slight recommendation here for David Gordon Green's Joe. Not Killer Joe, but there is some killing, though. So I can see how you thought that. We got Chris Diaz here. Chris, what did you see recently? Also, have you seen Joe, by the way? Have you seen Joe, Chris?
Yeah, I like Joe. I actually like Joe a lot.
I don't know, Joe.
Funny timing because speaking of Nicolas Cage, I just watched this for the first time today. Raising Arizona. I had to do that for preparation for tomorrow. Do a reshoot of it in the group. I am playing Glenn in the reshoot, so I watched it for the first time today. This is a silly, funny-ass movie that I got crack up somewhat watching. John Goodman and the one that played his other brother is hysterical at the prison escaping. Nicolas Cage is hysterical at the whole thing of him kidnapping the baby. I can't stop laughing watching it in the movie. Like, it's Coen Brother at its best and one of the more entertaining Nicolas Cage movies. Yeah. I'm not going 5 stars yet because I had to stay on it more, rewatch it more, but a 4.5 star for me. Like, easily one of my favorite Coen Brother movies. Like, and one of my favorite Nicolas Cage comedy movie. Howling Hunters is great in it, bro. Like, the two of them back and forth is great. It get over the top, but I think it works for the film it is. I think the stuff with the father of the baby they kidnap is really funny, like that he owns the furniture stuff and the stuff with him. And the FBI be a little bit suspicious and he trying to say, he had nothing to do with it. It's a pretty funny thing. Yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, being able to pull off a movie about kidnapping a baby and make it hilarious is a pretty magical thing to do. And it's done in typical Coen Brothers fashion, but a little bit more over the top than they usually do. But it's so much fun. I love this movie. John Goodman's great in this movie. Obviously Nicolas Cage kills this movie. He's so good in this movie. And it's just a hell of a ride. It's a lot of fun.
No, maybe I might have to pop my cherry at some point here too. This is a blind spot for me. So good to hear good stuff here. And I like to share like what everyone said. So that's pretty cool here. Shout out to Chris Diaz for that one there. Brandon, what else you got today this week?
I don't remember. 1 second.
Well, find out.
Vamp. Okay, I went bad.
You know,
Let's
when I
go.
was
Okay.
a young boy, my father
So
took me
I watched.
into the
Okay,
sea.
I have a ASAP question for you. Okay.
3. It's always
Okay.
3.
No, it's the 20th question of ASAP. Okay. What movie stars John Hawkes, Alfred Molina, Ray Liotta, John C.
Oh,
McGinley?
stop. Identity.
I watched Identity. Damn it! I watched it specifically to stump you with
Well, come on.
the ASAP question.
You know, it's funny. The question you just asked, I had probably asked, if not verbatim, something very similar because it is a decent cast.
There's a lot of freaking people in this movie. A lot of freaking people. And I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought the twist was pretty cool. But it just wasn't really interesting enough to fully hold me. I thought the ending, it really relied on the ending, but then it was kind of, I don't know. I don't really know it's one of those movies I don't really know where I stand. A really cool concept, but again, it has a really stacked cast, but I feel like they all kind of feel like they're in different movies a little bit to me, and just doesn't really, I don't know. It's a tricky movie to talk about. All these other movies have been a little easier to talk about. This one's tricky because like I really liked parts of it and really didn't like other parts of it. And it's hard to kind of explain why without really giving anything away. But it's just didn't really feel like it had its own identity.
Sorry.
It kind of just felt all over the place a little bit. But really cool concept with the twist, but just didn't really feel like it pulled it off for me. I kind of on my letterbox, it's kind of all over the place. Like my cousin gave it a 1 star, Will Cohen and Mike Hanley gave it 5 stars.
No, Will.
You gave it 3 stars.
That would have been my guess.
And I'm sitting in that 3-star range, I think. A worthy watch. Recommend because of the has a pretty cool ending. That's a pretty interesting concept. But it just kind of feels like it's kind of all over the place. And it makes more sense once the ending comes in of why it's all over the place. But just like while watching it for the first time, I'm like, wait, why is this movie jumping around like this? Why is it doing this? Why is this person talking that way? Why is he acting like that? And then it makes more sense afterwards. But like a movie shouldn't like make you be questioning if it's a good movie or not until the ending kind of justifies it. So that's where I'm like this is a weird choices, and like I guess it makes sense now because of how it ends, but still, like while I'm watching it, So
no, I feel it, man. That's similar thoughts. That's why I gave it a 3 stars back in the day. It's one that I think I've only seen twice. First time, pretty much first when it came out. Actually, I got to it right away because I enjoyed the eclectic cast there and whatnot. But yeah, it's asking a lot of questions, and then the answer. Well, they do answer it. It's not sufficient enough. I don't like the twist. I don't like the ending. It kind of takes the rug out from underneath you in a little bit of a way. So yeah,
I kind of wish they played it straight.
Checking out.
Yeah, I kind of wish they played it straight and just had it like maybe a murderer because I feel a little more interesting. But then it got just a little wacky.
Brian, have you seen Identity?
I've seen it, but it's been a while since I've seen it, so it's due for a rewatch. But
all right, what have you seen though?
This is where I watched it yesterday. It's a bad movie, and I'll like to talk about After Earth from 2013. Yeah, this movie bored the hell on me. The acting is not good. It made me fall asleep. I had to turn off like halfway toward the end to watch a different movie to get me a better movie to watch.
So what would you give After Earth?
1 star.
Damn. Damn. Critic. I don't know if I just came to it kind of nicely, but like I maybe or as in like everyone hated it so much that I feel like I'm more of a 2-star guy, maybe even 2.5. Not recommendation enough, but What about you, Brandon?
I've not seen this one. I've missed this one.
Yeah,
I've not missed this one.
That's a big non-recommendation from Brian.
Avoided
yes, I agree.
The Will Smith trying to get his kid into acting here.
Yeah, second time in a row for that.
Well, Shabadoo to After Earth and to you. See what I did there? Up next is what I like to call the Jordan. I bet you haven't heard of this movie of the week.
Your segment alert.
Have you ever heard of When Jeff Tried to Save the World?
Like the moment or the movie? I don't remember when Jeff tried that, and I don't remember the movie. When Jeff.
No, the movie. I'm just saying. Have you ever even heard of the movie?
No idea. There's two of them on Letterboxd.
Well, there's a short film and there's a feature length. Obviously, is the one I'm referring to. Is a John Heater vehicle company. What was it 2018? It says here. Yeah, he's working at a bowling alley that's about to close down, and just a normal, simple guy here. And tries to save it and tries to come up with kind of some different ideas here. There's also maybe a bit of a crush. His sister's friend staying with him for the weekend. It's such a simple movie that at first I was a little bored, but then I found myself kind of quickly getting charmed by it as well here. It's just we got some after Earth talk here. It's been my benchmark for terrible theater experiences. It's not a good one here. I can see it being worse in theaters. But yeah, when Jeff Tried to Save the World, I just thought it had an inherent little charm to it. And it's one that actually by the time it all kind of wrapped up, had won me over. This little direct to Amazon Prime is where you can find it currently here. And there's just enough charm and likability from everything going on here that it won me over, and actually it dug how it all wrapped up. So not overly in any kind of crazy way here. Step down maybe from Joe, but not a big one. 3 stars. 3 stars to good old Jeff as he tries to save the world.
That's the guy from Brendan Meyer from the Schmodown I see in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I remember him.
The kid.
This looks like a movie I would love.
The kid.
Yeah, the kid.
Oh, and he's the kid from The Guest?
They always said on the Schmodown that he was a actor, but I just never.
I didn't realize I've seen he's in Tooth Fairy. What?
Tooth Fairy.
He's in Color Out of Space. Is he Nicolas Cage? Okay, sorry.
He plays Punk Teen and Spooky Buddies.
I didn't fucking see Spooky Buddies. Oh no, so that's cool. Yeah, and he's I don't know my YouTube history. And he's pretty good in here, and I really liked him. And what did I just say? Oh, The Guest. Yeah, he's really good as the little brother. Damn, I just rewatched that. I never put that together. That I've actually seen several of his things, so that's cool. Let's see. Again, as you guys have seen, people have dipped in and out here.
Eric, come in.
Our guest, yeah, Eric.
Eric, join in.
Watch movies. If you want, the link is in the chat. You should see it in the chat here.
My terrible theater experience: Infinity War.
Oh no, what happened?
Guy behind me during when the Iron Spider suit came out, I think he literally came on me. He was like, oh my god! I was like, oh my god, freaking out. And then lady in front of me just yelling at the screen the whole time. Like when they showed T'Challa for the first time, stood up and went, "That's my king!" Literally, like audibly said that. Yeah. And then when he vaporizes, she went, "No! No!" and literally started screaming while everyone's like silent.
Yeah, that's overdone. I used to love the Thursday midnight releases because they were kind of just a really good fandom events. But the right amount of people were coming out. But that's because they're kind of wrong person though. Like, yeah, be excited, but
yeah,
don't try to make it about.
And as I've gotten older, I cannot do horror movies opening weekend anymore because even though I'm around middle schoolers all the time now, I just cannot because.
Me and my friend had a rule, especially PG-13 horror movies.
Yeah, exactly.
On opening weekend,
exactly.
Don't even fucking try. It is the worst.
During this is off topic, but during the first Quiet Place, there was these kids freaking out when, spoiler alert, someone dies in the very beginning of the movie, and they were laughing. I have a friend who's 6'7" and a cop, and he stood up and just looked at them behind us. They were quiet the rest of the movie.
I don't even know where to begin with bad theater experiences. This could be an entire separate episode.
Yeah, I have another story. When I realized I was old.
Child's Play, asking the people next to us to just be quiet a little bit because they were talking the entire time, and then them throwing a drink at my friend. Sicario, having someone bring their 5-year-old kid who audibly, after as a kid gets murdered in the movie, goes, what just happened to the young kid? You know, like checking out the moment. I don't know. On and on. Mission Impossible's ruined. Sully, old lady, very loudly wasn't sure what a flashback was. Like she's like, didn't we see this scene already? And I was like, God damn it, lady, you're 90. You've never seen a flashback.
I just remember I knew I was old when at 19 years old, my friend and I had to get up and move away from the teenagers behind us during the Friday the 13th remake. I was like 19 years old. Like, I'm already an old man. Get the fuck away from me. All right. Where should we go here? We had a bad movie.
We go to Tato.
Oh.
Hey!
Happy birthday.
Tato, I heard you saw an instant classic this week, filling in your video game blind spots. What'd you see?
All right, so yeah, I coincidentally through like at the beginning, I said one sentence at the beginning of the day. I said another sentence at the end of the day, and those sentences were, "I need to watch more video game movies. I need to watch more Jason Sudeikis movies." So I saw Angry Birds for the first time.
Oh, I was trying to put two and two together.
I was debating on whether or not to give you the time to do the math there. This movie was fun. Yeah. I imagine it would have been a little better had I gotten I haven't played a ton of Angry Birds.
It's not very like deep gameplay, so I don't know if there's really
exactly.
No, I don't agree at all that it would help or hurt, unless you're like just in love with the character design.
Yeah,
there were definitely references that I caught, like just from like I'm like, oh, that is clearly a reference to the video game.
Like the special.
And I was like, God, would I like it more here? Like obviously when they're actually doing the Angry Birds action, and you're seeing the gameplay aspect, that was fine. The voice cast is obviously phenomenal, but a little underused at points.
Looking at this list.
Yeah, voice cast is but Dinklage is really good in it, actually. And Sudeikis is Sudeikis, so he doesn't really go wrong. Not super awesome, nothing to write home about. This was obviously 2016, as before we started really getting the good video game movies. But passable.
Like Borderlands.
Yeah, it's probably better than Borderlands, I assume. I have not seen Borderlands, so.
Yeah, I've not. Have you seen it? I haven't seen this, Jake.
It is not that bad, Chris. Again, like I say all the time to you, calm down. Tato, what's the score?
3.
Box out.
Yeah, this seems like an aggressive movie to walk out of.
No, like that's.
I'm angry at Angry Birds.
You shouldn't have even entered the building. Then I'm sorry if this makes you walk out. It's not that egregiously bad. It's not the Emoji Movie. No, because I don't think I'm that far off either. I think both movies are 2.5, 3.5 star movies for me here. I think the sequel might be a little funnier, script wise. But yeah, this one I thought was just kind of fine. You know what I mean? Sudeikis is funny. I like the little world they built. They actually have to put some thought and effort into the world itself, which is kind of cool. So yeah. Yeah, Brian's got our back. That's all you know, Chris.
Maybe I'll check it out.
It's not offensive in the terms of video game movies.
Walking out. Why did you feel the need to see more video game movies, though? There's a lot of other genres you could watch.
I mean, they're kind of in my wheelhouse. They're both trivia is in there, so like it's something I want to be good at in trivia, and I already have like a solid base. Is the thing. So, and then also, like, I do say, like, obviously they're derided for a solid reason, but I want to be able to have that have the base to be like, hey, I was there during the shitty times, even though I'm watching them late.
I'm with you. I reached out to
and just like I want to be able to see them to reference them.
Yeah, I want to watch the more of the UA Bowl ones. So, like, I haven't watched any of the really, really, really bad ones.
Have you seen In the Name of the King with Jason Statham?
No, I haven't seen any of the really bad ones.
That one is bad good. Like, that one is enjoyable.
Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark is bad.
I have requested that video game movies be put into fandom. They reached out and said what two categories, and I was like, video game movies.
Video game movies belong in any geek, nerd, what have you, whatever you want to call it, fandom. They belong there. They're like just they're behind Star Wars, the books, and the comic book movies. Behind, like, video games should be fourth behind those, in my opinion. Like, they should come in before Alien and Predator and and Godzilla and whatnot, in my opinion.
Give me a month. Me versus Tato, video game movie, mono y mono.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Fight forever. Good having Tato here. Brandon, all right, we'll get back to you now. Of course, anyone wants to in the chat.
All right, a little choose your own adventure now, Jordan.
Okay.
Good or bad? You want good or bad?
Go bad so you didn't good.
I love it. Okay. So this is a movie that I thought I had seen. It was actually marked on my letterbox as seen. And I walk in and my wife's watching it. And I'm like, I know the movie. And then I keep watching it. And I'm like, I've never seen this movie before. I watched That's My Boy. Good thing we had Brian on. I was shocked this movie didn't find, its way onto your guys' list. This movie is not good. It's pretty bad. Andy Samberg's actually pretty funny in it. But this is one of the few times where Adam Sandler is just really annoying. I don't find him that annoying, but his voice in this is just bad. And there's just a lot of jokes. And correct me if I'm wrong, this one of the few like R-rated comedies he does?
To a degree, yeah. I think this is his first one in a while here. I mean, you have Bulletproof. He did a movie called The Do-Over with Spade, but I would say primarily, yeah, you're skewing PG-13.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like because they were R, they pushed it a little bit more. And it might actually have been better if they just toned it down a bit and made it PG-13. It just felt like they made it R just to make some jokes that didn't be deeply made. Unfortunately, it's just not very good. Not the worst movie I've ever seen. Not the worst Adam Sandler movie I've ever seen. Still, like, besides being annoying, it's still enjoyable enough to watch. Like, we had to go to dinner and then we came back and finished the movie. So we still, like, actively finished the movie. So not that bad where it's like, I want to stop watching this forever. So, it kept my attention. There was a few chuckle parts, but not very much. A lot of it was just raunchy to be raunchy. That's what it really felt like. But again, it was fun seeing Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg together. Thought they were pretty good together. But just, yeah, not funny enough and a little too annoying, in my opinion. I wouldn't call it awful. I would say it's not good. I would say it's bad. I would say it's bad, not awful. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm defending this movie. Chris made me mad. Now I'm like, how dare you say it's awful? Even though, like, I agree with him. But, yeah. 2 stars.
I was about to say, yeah, where did I land on it?
I gave it 2 stars because I kept watching it and I actually, like, went back and finished it.
This one's so hard, man. I'm not gonna disagree with you by any means. I'm probably higher on it.
You're at 2.5.
I went to okay. See, I was gonna say my 2.5 or my 3 because it is one I'll even kind of go back to occasionally here, maybe because it is kind of fun seeing Sandler go very R. Like as we kind of pointed out, it's
kind of jarring,
rare-ish. Yeah. So I personally, I just looked it up. I have a 33 of 50 for me here. So this is my second half of Sandler movies on my list here. I don't know. There's, like you said, there's probably Going Overboard. His first one's really bad. It's barely a movie. And then Ridiculous 6 and The Do-Over. The one, if you don't like this, I do not recommend The Do-Over with David Spade because that to me was even more like just
over the top,
raunchy to be raunchy. Like there's even like, and then it's also very violent too, which is weird. Like that one's a weird one. Yeah, this is one that like some gags work. And then I think there's several laugh out loud moments here, and then there's stretches of it that don't work. So that's why 2.5 to me is kind of perfect because it's like, damn, is this kind of a mixed bag? Eric, you love Adam Sandler. Have you seen That's My Boy?
I haven't seen That's My Boy. That's one of those that I avoided.
What have you seen?
I recently saw The Adventures of Mark Twain, the 1980s one, and it was very fun. It's one of those movies that are the stop motion movies that is very well animated. It's very precious to look at. Like I know the characters design are not for everyone. Like they are kind of weird, and it's very much not a kids movie. If you have seen it at all, you remember that scene with Satan. Yeah, I love to see Satan in animated movies that are not South Park. But I actually find it very touching. Like I think I was worried that the movie was going to be very segmented. Like you know how many stop motion movies are like this happens and that happens, but they are not very connected, almost like an anthology. And in some parts it seems like that, but then when they wrap up the Adam and Eve, probably spoilers, I guess there's an Adam and Eve recreation. I think I finally found what's so special about the movie. It's about life and death and all that, which is pretty much the deal with Mark Twain in the movie. And it's pretty nice to look at, as you can see. The characters are kind of odd, you know. You can see their big heads and all that. They're kind of repetitive in some senses. Like look at those people, but it's pretty much charming. I find almost every stop motion movie to be very charming. At least to me, there's a lot of craft into it, and you can see it. And yeah, have you guys seen it?
I've never heard of this, but I need to watch this freaking movie. This looks awesome. My wife hates stop motion, so I'll have to watch this one alone. But like this one looks awesome.
So check this out. For me, if you had just said this off the cusp like 2 years ago, might have been like, nah, what are you talking about? And then I don't know if I saw the trailer or the box cover, and it literally was like, memories. I used to watch this on VHS a lot back in the day. So like I've seen it probably 10 times. I don't remember anything about it other than like really, again, like this all seems vaguely LSD familiar. Because again, it hasn't been since I was, probably 10, 8 since I've seen this. But yeah, so I do remember it being a pretty big rewatch for me growing up. So I do remember digging it as a kid.
Yeah, it's one of those that probably grows up on you. Like there's many movies that I wouldn't consider great, but I remember seeing a lot. This is one of those that I obviously never seen it before since last week, but I always heard of it. Like it's always in those top 10s, like dark scenes in children movies. Like it has a very dark scene, and I wouldn't say it's probably better if you see it as an adult with the passage of time and the old age catching up to you. Like there's a lot of that in this movie. I do recommend it for. Yeah. I'd say it's a 3.5 movie. It's a little bit slow, but it's a good watch. I would recommend it.
I'm gonna check it out. I add to my list. I never knew this existed.
That was everyone's favorite LWO member, Eric.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. He's my favorite LWO member.
I'm Orville Cruz del Toro. Also, too, I wanted to point out too here in the chat. Evidently, me and Brian are simpatico because that's literally my list of the bottom 4.
Is this a safe place?
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna yell at you. You love grown-ups too, right? I think we've yelled.
I love grown-ups, and I love grown-ups too.
My new host of Long Time First Time, Tato. Do you like grown-ups and grown-ups too? Oh, you're muted.
Haven't seen Grown Ups 2, but I actually didn't hate
Brandon, you're back in.
It's fucking stupid, but it's fun.
Like no, that's fine, and you're not alone. I mean, those movies made bank to where
they're so stupid.
We'll see a third.
And that one is definitely raunchy to be raunchy, but like it's like I don't know, that last '80s party looked awesome. Like Shaq's funny in it.
So scene to scene. What's Chris Rock's arc? That his wife
forgets
their wedding.
Okay, look, it's
and
not a
he
good
has
movie.
A double dose of soda.
It's a bad movie, but it's fun to watch.
I don't want to fight with you. What else do you see this week?
Oh, your turn.
Oh, it's sweet. Okay, yeah. Here, let me type mine out. Going all the way back. Are you ready to go way, way back?
Grown-ups 1.
Oh, God damn it, I haven't seen that. Witness. Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford on my list.
Lucas Haas. Have you not seen this?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah. Another. I feel like this was. I don't remember. Paramount. Somebody has this, obviously. And yeah. So Harrison Ford is trying to protect the young Amish Lucas Haas, who's still an actor to this day. Here, in fact, had a pretty decent role in Babylon with Margot Robbie a couple years back. Also, the movie Brick, which is a one that I love. But anyway, ends up going. He finds out that, of course, there's some, some corrupt cops within his, precinct or whatever in their precinct, including Danny Glover, who I don't think that's a spoiler. You find that out pretty quickly that Danny Glover is actually one of the bad people in the movie as well here. And he gets hurt and ends up spending more time with the village than he thinks he's going to. And ends up, guess what? Falling in love with good old Kelly McGillis here. And you really do feel the sexual tension between these two here. There's a couple of just long, staring at each other like, can we? Man, we want to, but we can't. Kind of moments here as well. Cultural clashes and whatnot. And, then we finally get back to the action, that heats up for a little bit as well here. And then so does the, the main relationship at core here. And I thought it was interesting here. It's slow at times, but worth it. And it's another 3.5 for me here, 3.5 stars. Saying definitely something to get out to if you have the chance sooner or later.
I have this on my list. I don't know why it's on my list. I don't remember adding it to my list, but it's on my list, and I should check out. Lucas Haas, actually, he's in a bunch of stuff. I looked him up recently because last year watching Righteous Gemstones, I was like, this guy looks super familiar. Lucas Haas plays one of Steve Zahn's sons with the big beard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. No, like I said, still a working actor. You'll find him.
And then I recognized him from Mars Attacks.
See, I forgot he was on that.
He's like the main kid. Yeah. All right. We have anybody else?
We might do a double, but at the moment, go ahead.
Okay. My final movie. I guess this isn't really a hole. It's a hole for me. So if this wants to be Brandon's hole of the week, we can have it Brandon's hole of the week. This has been a hole for me for a long time. I would say I've been wanting to watch this movie since, when did this come out? Since 2007. I've been very interested in watching this. So for me, it's a personal hole, which is the best type of hole. Do you remember the game Stranglehold in 2007?
Nope.
It was for PlayStation. What was it come out for? 360 and PlayStation 3. It was a John Woo directed video game starring Chow Yun-fat. And it was a sequel to the movie Hard Boiled. And I loved that game. It was so much fun. It was kind of like Max Payne where you can dive. Doves showed up and they had like cool slow motion effects and spinning
it's John Woo. I know doves are showing up.
Exactly. Actually, I watched Hard Boiled, spoiler alert, and there was no doves in it. So shocking. But I finally watched Hard Boiled. I had previously mentioned I watched Face Off last week. A couple months ago, I watched the original. Now I can have to say fucking weird. I have to say the original The Killer because he just in the middle of my John Woo watch, he dropped a new one. So I have to watch that. I loved The Killer. I thought that was amazing. This movie is even fucking better. This movie is awesome. It's just nonstop action. It's done so well. It still holds up. It's over the top, but it's not oversaturated like modern action movies are, where you can still tell what's going on. It's in that ammo is not real thing until like they need to be dramatic and have ammo, like them run out of bullets. But Chow Yun-fat is and he teams up in this one with I don't want to spoil anything away, but it's a little team up movie, and some of the action is so well done. It's so good. It's so compelling. The soundtrack is so good. The end sequence is just like an hour-long shootout, just stuff exploding. It's just literally just a masterpiece of bullets and explosions and guns and blood and everything. My one gripe with it is that the movie poster has him in a police outfit holding a baby, and he never wears a police outfit in the movie. He does hold a baby, but he never wears that outfit. So I'm very confused why that's on there. That's my only gripe. This movie is a masterpiece. It is an opera, a bullet opera, I think they call them. It's just so good. If you want to watch something badass for 2 hours, highly, highly, highly recommend this movie. It's so good. Better. And this was his last thing that made him go on to Face Off and all those other things. But these old Chinese ones are just so much fun. So 5 stars.
Damn.
5 stars. Awesome.
We got a fiver.
And I'll wait till a year passes so I can watch the Killer remake and talk about it. It's not even a remake. It's like a reimagining, but watch the original Killer. Although I heard the new one's fine.
I've given 3 recommendations as well. 3.5 star in the recommendation category. Well, it ain't a show without me now having a really bad movie here, and we are unfortunately going to end bad here. I saw this about a month ago, but I wanted to match your 4, so I dug it out of the archives. It's a movie I had to find a sneaky way to watch it because it's not available readily, and this hurts my heart. And Tato, I hope you're not here because I don't want to see your face when I bring this movie up. Kevin Smith's Kilroy was here with my final review of the day here. A movie that you cannot find on Vudu, Prime, Netflix, or anything because you had to buy it via an NFT about a year or so ago. So only a few people had it here, but there's ways to find it. I can tell you, Brendan, if you want to be a sickness here. Oh boy, here. So it's an anthology horror film here, which sells me originally because I do love Red State a lot. I actually even like Tusk. I recommend Tusk. But this one here just done on such a low budget here. The script's kind of all over the place here. They always try to find a way to include the Kilroy character here, which sometimes isn't necessary. And they even kind of go back on its own lore. Like there's a way to get Kilroy involved, and then later on he's just involved in a different way here, just because he has to be. Some vignettes are definitely better than others here. The school one's fine, just kind of drags. That's the one with Jason Mewes popping up here. The Harley Quinn segments are kind of whatever here. The Sick Girl's okay. The ending's kind of lackluster here. Creepy Priest with Ralph Garman. My Boy for Doris Steer. The Chris Jericho one's pretty good here. Brief, but yeah, our Le Champion is there here. That's the one that kind of doesn't need Kilroy at all, but then involves him weirdly for no reason. So it's just not really well made on many levels here, and I can't go any higher than 1.5 stars. And that breaks my heart because that's easily my worst reviewed Kevin Smith movie that's available. So the one that's hard to find, Kilroy was here, 1.5 star. Also, the trailer shows way too much.
Movies I'm looking. The movie's only like an hour, so it's like that trailer was everything.
It barely finally reaches to an hour at the end of it. Yeah, I mean, even with credits, I think it's an hour 2, but the movie's done within that hour, I think. So, Brandon,
I haven't heard of it. I mean, I have heard of this. Once you mentioned it, then I was like, oh, what? And then I remember this horror movie he put out in the NFT. I need to kind of fill out looking at my Kevin Smith watching. I need to fill out my lower half of his movies. If I had to guess, they're all the bad ones. Tusk, Jersey Girl, Yoga Hosers, Cop Out, Holidays, I don't know what that is, and Kilroy is here.
Tusk is worth watching. What else did you say?
Jersey
Girl's worth watching. Holidays, he's in one segment. That's like a VHS creep show type thing. He's in one segment.
He directed a segment?
He directs one segment, yes.
Cop Out.
It has its moments, but
and Yoga Hosers.
Thumbs down. That's also my only other thumbs down from him. Yeah. Taylor, what do you feel about those? What should he watch out of those?
Watch every single Kevin Smith film ever made. Cop Out for me is the bottom of the barrel. It just doesn't.
No, it's not. Kilroy.
No.
Oh, come on. Even like the way it's shot and like a couple laughs is better than the mishmash of Kilroy. That's like he barely even wants people to see.
Okay, Cop Out is the better film for sure. I don't think I like it more though.
Oh, that's nuts, man. That's nuts to me.
I mean, I'm not going back to either of them anytime soon. I'll say that.
I would go back to Cop Out 3 times before having to just slog through Kilroy again.
No, I think I'm pretty 50. No, I don't think I would watch either one without watching the other one in between.
Well, I'll watch them. I'll start.
And then Yoga Hosers is also not fantastic, but Stanley's in it, so.
There you go. We'll have Brandon fill in those holes at some point. I'm gonna hear that on that.
Love it.
Yeah, it kind of is, Eric. Which I
Or
hate
the
to
worst
admit.
one too.
I didn't like it. I thought it was very one note. Yeah. There's a couple better ones for sure. Like there's a couple that like Father's Day is my favorite. Christmas I don't mind, and I don't know. I'd have to think about it longer. Maybe Easter's
When I
kind
put
of
together my Hooptober list this year, I'll try to throw on some.
There you go. Yeah. We got all of October. Well, Brandon, do you want to go over your stuff again real quick?
Yeah, put it up on the screen so I can't remember. Okay, started the week. I'll do it in order of what I started. I started the week watching the beginning of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury. Turned it off about 5 minutes in and watched Hard Boiled. So I literally went from my 1.5 star. What?
Nothing.
My 1 star to my 5 star. So I started Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., 1.5 stars. Identity, okay movie that I don't really remember now. It's super hard to talk about. 3 stars. That's My Boy. Bad movie. Enjoyed watching it though, because it's there were some moments, but not a pretty bad movie. 2 stars, and then the masterpiece Bullet Ballet that is Hard Boiled. 5 smackaroonies. 5 stars.
It's gonna be a 3-star week for me. 3.5 goes to Joe, the movie directed by Nicholas Gordon Green with Nicolas Cage. When Jeff tried to save the world, 3 stars. A John Heater flick. Witness with Harrison Ford, 3.5. Then do end with a 1.5er, and a Kilroy was here by Kev Smitty. Our buddies G Burns gave Inception just 3 stars. He says go watch Paprika instead. I say back off, Chris. I'd rather watch Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Leonardo DiCaprio act. Racing Arizona 4.5 for Chris, almost a 5. Then we go all the way down to just a 1 star. Brian absolutely hating After Earth. Tato giving a slight recommendation to Angry Birds, just good enough with good old Sudeikis here. Another 3.5 for Adventures of Mark Twain, a trippy 80s animated claymation movie here that I also, little me, I believe, loved as well. Or maybe I was just hypnotized. Hey, we got several people watching. Don't forget, you can always join us here on this show in the future weeks here. We place the link in the chat, or you can DM us for the link, and you can discuss a movie with me and Brandon. Brandon, any plugs or parting words?
I've been saying the same thing the last 3 weeks. The only plug is this show right here. Watch this show. This is the best show on the interwebs. The only show where we talk about non-new releases. The only show.
Only one. Don't fact check that. For Brandon, for me, for let's say Jay, Tato, Chris, Brian, Eric. Did I get everybody?
Yep. 5 guys.
All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, and most of all, we love you more than you'll ever know.
Motherfuck, fuck.